Sports Gamers Online Stadium in Baltimore, Maryland is the destination tonight as the Vultures look to play to decide their fate in the upcoming wildcard weekend. For the situation for Fort Worth is very simple. They are locked into the 5 seed and are looking to continue what would be a 4-win streak heading into the playoffs, and they would get the week off as well. As for Baltimore, they're trying to seal a home playoff game. A loss more than likely sets them up for a road trip in the wildcard round for the first time in franchise history. Alongside me this evening for what should be a real classic in Week 14 on your SFL Super Saturday night, Brett Solberg. Brett, welcome to the booth. What's going on, and what are you looking for in this matchup tonight?
Well, this is a battle of two hosses, essentially. Fort Worth getting back to where they were at a certain point last season after starting 1-2, basically dominating their way to get an 8-3 record, whereas Baltimore a little bit shaky, but they've also had the toughest schedule in the league so far. So they've been playing some close battles and have got themselves to 6-5, but a win here for Baltimore guarantees them a whole wild card game, so they need this win very much so. It's going to be an exciting matchup here, Jacob.
That's what's at stake tonight. The Toros trying to play spoiler and keep their winning streak intact leading into the playoffs. Kick up and away. Home side will start with possession and will return up past the 20 towards the 25 by David Anderson, and that's why the Vultures will take over. Jack Wigmore, the quarterback, leads out this offense. Warren Murray, Hubbard Kimbrell, T-Roy Gaines, the backside, Ivory Irvin, David Anderson, Daley Holder, Mac Chima, Caesar Ackerman, and Jackson Roberts, the receivers and tight ends. And the offensive line, Sir Charles, Ray Arnold, the Bleecker twins, Olivia and Alden, Jay Arnold, and Dawn Johnson, the center. Wigmore will start with a single back in Murray, 2 receivers to his left. 4-3 look out of Fort Worth on defense. Murray up the middle. Picks up about 4, and that's where he is dumped.
Yeah, and the big key for Baltimore is to make sure that they hit first, and especially at home. Fort Worth is capable to score in bunches, but so is Baltimore. So you have to be weary of how they're going to approach things as the first drive continues forward.
Definitely sets up to be a high-octane game on offense. Handoff again, this time to Gaines, and T-Roy almost gets the first down on the outside handoff, brings up 3rd and short. The Fort Worth defense, Jeff Duffy, Jerry D. gone, Luther gone, John Neville's on the line, E.K. Vincent, Sonny Sky, and J.L. Browning, the linebackers, Tavion Gordon, Adam Leach, Remington James, and Aiden Davis, the corners, Ben Stone, and Delaney Nash, the 2 safeties. Another heavy set from the Vultures. Handoff again, short side, Murray. Murray got it, first down. Tough run from Warren Murray, but enough to keep the drive moving.
Yeah, starting up with that run so far, saying to themselves, hey, Fort Worth, we've got the better run game on paper. The 9th rushing offense compared to the 11th ranked rushing offense between these two teams.
Both very close, and both again with dynamic backfield splits. Some Fort Worth later tonight, but for now it's Warren Murray who gets the chains moving. Handoff straight up the middle, this time to a secondary tailback, picks up about 4.
And they continue just to run the football. 4 straight runs to start things off to get themselves about 15, 16 yards to start off their drive. They're essentially telling the Fort Worth defense, be ready, because then once we throw that rock, we're going to hit you.
Ontario Smith with that carry. Now another heavy set here on 2nd and short. Warren Murray's going to explode for a first down. Picks up about 8 or 9.
Getting to midfield, and they're just continuing with the run game at this point on the drive, and why not? It's been working for them. They're finding open holes. Warren Murray has that burst of speed. He's very capable. Hasn't had the carries that we're so used to him having. Only 140 coming into this matchup, but he has been effective. 7th in the league in average yards per carry.
Warren Murray's 3rd carry of this drive, 14 yards thus far. First throw for Wigmore finds the main man in Ivory Irvin for a quick 14 yards. And that gets Baltimore in full momentum now.
And this is why I was thinking Baltimore was kind of lulling Fort Worth to sleep with all these run plays, because then eventually just have Wigmore sling that rock to one of the receivers, and why not start with your numero uno in Ivory Irvin to get that pass game going.
Wigmore now 1 for 1 on his first attempt from deep, and now Baltimore in Fort Worth territory on their opening drive. Wigmore again outside to Warren Murray, and this time the gap is sealed by J.L. Browning after a gain of 3.
Yeah, and I think Baltimore kind of wants to avoid trying to get into basically a Fort Worth passing defense, because you have to remember, Fort Worth does have 3 pick sixes this season in the forms of Adam Leach, Remington James, and Aiden Davis. Those are dangerous corners.
Absolutely, and off at the middle this time to T-Roy Gaines, picks up a couple. In fact, it was Hubba Kimbrell, the second running back on this step chart, announced his retirement earlier this week, so he'll have a chip on his shoulder leading into the back end of the season, trying to finish his career on a high note after just 1 season with the Vultures. 3rd and 4 upcoming. Wigmore will drop back out of a heavy set, launches downfield, tipped away and incomplete.
It's not just the corners you have to worry about, it's those linebackers as well. Not a lot of pass deflections between E.K. Vincent, Sonny Sky, and J.L. Browning, but if they're in the vicinity, they'll get their hands up.
E.K. Vincent credited with that tip, and now Sharp Tarkington will trot out for a 47-yard attempt. Swings it from right to left, and that is up and through for an early Baltimore lead on their opening possession. The drive was a long one, spanned over 3.5 minutes, and we are at 3-0.
Not a lot of kicks this season for Shark Turkington. Just his 12th make on his 13th attempt. We see a lot of kickers, get plenty of attempts this season. I think more than we did last season. But Turkington still automatic as always. That is a career record 339th field goal made in his career.
There you go, Shark Tarkington, historical at the kicker position, essentially averaging a field goal make per game at this point. Return up the middle. Fort Worth will take over on offense, and this Fort Worth offense has been excellent this season. Marcus Dunhill, the quarterback, Charlie Baker and Jay-Z Bacon, again, those backs, Harry and Alexander, the fullback, Cade Stevens, EJ Minson, Stephen Hacker, Lele Lakai, the receivers, tight ends, Robert Garrett Jr. and James Jennings, the line, Amelia Panda, Gordo Anomi, and Frank Burks on the line. She says Gordo Anomi, I believe. Missed the R there. 1st and 10 at the 27 for Fort Worth. It's where they'll take over. Handoff early side to Jay-Z Bacon. Runs straight at Keenan Samuels and picks up 7.
Yeah, at one point we were talking about Jay-Z Bacon being the best running back in the league. He's taken a step back as of recently, but his carries continue to do the talking for him. 3rd in the league in carries. He's still 7th in yards. He just hasn't seen the end zone much. Just 4 rushing touchdowns to his name.
For the most part, the touchdowns this season have been vultured by the 3 starting receivers for the Toros, especially the
Stephen Hacker,
off-season addition. Hacker, and also Minchin has had a big campaign in his first season with this ball club. Handoff up the middle, that's to Charlie Baker, and that's a 1st down.
They're going to just run the ball themselves as well, because you have to remember these are 2 teams that are very close intertwined in a lot of offensive categories. You have to take point here, Jacob, that the separation between these 2 offenses heading into this week is just 1 yard. 355 for Baltimore, 354 total yards for Fort Worth.
Ace formation, tipped away. Oh, Samuels had a shot at that after tip from Frank Smith, but it falls away incomplete.
And those linebackers, just like the Fort Worth linebackers, it's basically like watching a mirror image of yourself when looking at these two teams. Very similar in a lot of statistical categories, and then on how their teams were built. It's basically looking at a mirror.
2nd and 10, split pro look from the Fort Worth offense. Dunhill rollout, Minson the target. Too heavy to hang on to that one. Good contact from the back end of that Baltimore defense, which contains the line of Robert Brady, Al Walker, Ralph Leopold, and Nate Brown, Saron Yates as well. The linebackers Frank Smith, Keenan Samuels, and Alvin Mack. And this secondary, Ben Stackenpaper, Enzo Bolt, Marvin Hines, Elijah Warfield, Sullivan Tyson, Giovanni Bolt, and Troy Lowshaw. Dunhill looking long, that's incomplete. No one downfield, was looking at Minson but couldn't find him, and forces into a quick 3 and out.
Man, it's very easy to say that it was way off the mark if it was heading for Minson. There was really nobody in that area for the football on that Dunhill throw, and Baltimore kind of strikes first defensively.
Punt sails away. Baltimore will get possession back almost as quickly as they lost it. It'll be fielded here at the Baltimore 30.
And again, when we talk about these two teams, we really have to take a look at the time possession totals. These two teams really trying to focus on dominating this. These two teams haven't done it yet. They're both, bottom half of the league in average time of possession, even below league average. So these two kind of want to shape things up before the playoffs.
Fresh possession here for the Vultures. Handoff up the middle goes to T-Roy Gaines, and that picks up nothing there. He gave Vincent again on the stop.
And if Fort Worth wants to improve anything in terms of their defense, they just got to look back and think to themselves, hey, we got ourselves the 2nd-ranked rush defense in the league. Make this team into a one-dimensional squad. Trust in our corners.
Wigmore drops back, had time generated from the line, and unfortunately the pass was a little bit behind Ivory Irvin, and Sonny Sky got there on the ankle tap.
Yeah, and they'll give him a yard on the check that Caesar Ackerman catch, it looked like to be on that far side, and Sky just, once he was on the ground, touched his leg, got 1 yard.
3rd down and long. Wigmore drops back out of a bunch, and it's incomplete. Fired it downfield looking for Mac Chima, couldn't find him, and just as quickly as Fort Worth's offense punted it away, Baltimore is going to do the same.
Yeah, there's about 4 or 5 Fort Worth defenders in that vicinity of the football to just 2 Baltimore receivers. And that always that always favors to the side of the defense when it comes to a scenario like that.
Eddie Coffin's out for the first time tonight. Sends this one away, and it's going to be fair caught at exactly the 20 by Cade Stevens. If you're new to the Simulation Football League, welcome. The SFL is football for everyone. Get off the sideline and start your play today by joining our Discord server at simulationfl.net. Click the Join the Community button and begin your career, or just meet the stars of the SFL on and off the field. It's never too late to get involved. New possession here for Fort Worth at the 21. Single back off to Dunhill's left, 3 wide. Handoff will go up the middle to Jay-Z Bacon, who's dumped. Big shot there from Alvin Mack.
Now we're starting this little feel-it-out process between these two defenses, trying to figure out what Fort Worth wants to do offensively, trying to figure out what Baltimore wants to do offensively. And we're still getting, near the end of the first quarter, and defenses have really stepped up.
Handoff this time to Baker. Lowshaw tried to get to him, and eventually Frank Smith dumps him in the backfield, and that's going to give them a very close 3rd down situation.
Yeah, and if I'm Fort Worth, I want to convert this 3rd down. You don't want to go back to back to back on these punts in this scenario and make this a proverbial tennis match, because if you give Baltimore a chance to expand this lead to multiple scores, you're going to be doomed.
Dumped! Great tackle in the backfield. Keenan Samuels got to him before he could make the play. Aaron Alexander with his second carry of the contest couldn't find Peter, and Fort Worth are going to punt it away.
Open space that opened up and then quickly shut down by Samuels. The linebacker's speed is just unmatched with these Baltimore players.
Looks like something was building there on that drive, but it snuffed again, and now we've had our third straight 3 and out, and Ivory Irvin is going to field this punt at the 36, and that's where Baltimore will take over on offense.
And now it's starting to become a little bit more of like a starting field position battle between these two teams, kind of punting each other away, and Baltimore has the early advantage starting at the 36.
These formations start off with both Roberts and Ackerman in the line. Going to move. Appears to be Irvin from left to right. Single back is Murray. 4-3 from Fort Worth. Pressure came up the middle. Beats one. Warren Murray outside. Spun too early, and E.K. Vinson was able to get across. I wonder, had he have been a bit more patient there, Warren Murray, he might have been able to break that off.
I'm even thinking maybe a shifty juke move that moved him further to the left side could have gotten him first down plus yardage, but he decides to spin, and like you said, he spun too early.
Respective, it's a 6-yard pickup for Warren Murray. It's a strong start to this game. Hand off to the right-hand side. Good meat. T-Roy Gaines flattened by, it looks like Adam Leach coming from that corner spot.
And you're seeing early that both these teams want to establish the run. Baltimore with now 9 carries in this game, and Fort Worth with their chances have had 5. So there's been a lot of runs to start this first quarter.
Queued up here potentially for another run, but Wigmore will throw it of Jokers. Zips it short. Great catch, Caesar Ackerman. In fact, it was Ivory Irvin. I got those two mixed up again, but Irvin's got his second catch and a first down.
To be fair, Jacob, 1s and 4s look pretty identical when you're looking at it from a very far away perspective like we do. But when you need a first down, I think Irvin is the right guy to go to.
He's had a huge season, Ivory Irvin. He's been right up there with Gabriel Manning this season in receiving yards. Wigmore throws. Wow. Great catch. Fed it through the window. And it's caught for a second time by Irvin for a first down.
And I was amazed by that catch from Irvin because the corner played him really well, and it was actually in front of the route at some point. You'll see Adam Leach get the tackle on this one. You'll see right far behind, I believe that was Aiden Davis on the coverage. He was right in front of the football, but it still managed to get into the breadbasket, Ivory Irvin.
It's going to be a really good contest, Aiden Davis and Ivory Irvin tonight. Pressure come off the far side, but Warren Murray's going to go straight up the middle. And he's met by Delaney Nash after a 4-yard pickup.
Yeah, and they'll give him 4 yards. And again, trying to establish the run a little bit more here. We're seeing a bit more passes from Jack Wigmore. He's been very accurate, but right now Baltimore has been very much carrying the play advantage through the first quarter. It's now their 20th play of the quarter compared to Fort Worth's 10.
Handoff far side. T-Roy mowed over a man, broke the second tackle. One man to beat, and he's pushed out of bounds by Sonny Sky, but a great run from T-Roy Gaines.
Yeah, and that's just T-Roy being T-Roy. He saw the path, and more importantly, saw Delaney Nash coming in front of him and said, MVP, who? You're going to get demolished on your way for some extra yardage, and shedding off a Ben Stone tackle to get inside the red zone. Baltimore is threatening.
That is some run from T-Roy Gaines, effectively his second touch of the game. And that got us up out of our seats here. Baltimore now in the red zone, 20 seconds and ticking on the first quarter clock. Wigmore will drop back, rolling out. Wigmore trying to get there himself, but he's dumped in the backfield. Great pursuit made there from Sonny Sky.
Yeah, that was the offensive line essentially breaking down because you had multiple defenders getting in pursuit of Wigmore there, and Sonny Sky was just in the right spot because that entire left line was broken.
One quarter done, Baltimore with the lead, and they're trying to push for more. And we'll be right back at Sports Gamers Online Stadium in just a moment. Aerial coverage of Baltimore, Maryland, brought to you by Dags Droneworks. Aerial coverage for your projects, video and photography and more. Visit dagsdroneworks.com. Back here at Sports Gamers Online Stadium in Baltimore, Maryland. After that aerial shot, and Jack Wigmore now knocking on the door of the red zone. 3-3 defense out of Fort Worth. Pressure from the edge again. Wigmore had it there.
Oh.
Great grab! Picked up and dumped, but he's pulled off a special. Mac Chima.
Yeah, and it looked like there was just that pocket of space where it seemed to me that one of the defenders, you can see it right there, it looked to be Remington James that was looking to go in front, which left the safety to kind of stay back, and there was that pocket of space to get wide open for Mac Chima to get the catch.
Now they're in very good territory. 6 yards to go with a fresh set of downs. Wigmore, short throw out of the backfield, picked up by Warren Murray. Couldn't find room though. In fact, it was T-Roy Gaines on that occasion. That time he was isolated and dropped at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, tried to overload one side and then kind of dump it off to the other to see if they could misdirect the Fort Worth defense. But Fort Worth was ready for it.
Could have officially been a loss of one even. Now Wigmore will drop back. Short throw. Urban wide open, touchdown. You cannot leave him with that much space in the end zone. And Baltimore picks up 6.
You can't leave Ivy Irvin with 1 yard of space, let alone the 4 yards, 5 yards, or 6 yards of space that he had in the end zone. Fort Worth, I can understand trying to play kind of a zone in an area like the end zone, but when you have someone like Aiden Davis in a flats route with just one receiver, it's just not the right option. Irvin's going to find his way open like he did, and Baltimore has scored the first 9 points of this contest.
Home team on a roll here in week 14. Shark Tarkenton will come out to tap over the extra point, and Baltimore out by 10. And just like that, they sort of got the game right where they want it. The SFL alongside Jack Starter will be breaking down where the playoff race stands after Saturday's games on Season 22 of Scenario Show right here on SFL YouTube. It'll be after this game. These games will remain, 3 games will remain, 8 scenarios will remain. What seeds, opponents, and situations will your team find themselves in? Who should you cheer for down the stretch? Stay up late with us. The show will air live at 11:45 p.m. Eastern Saturday on SFL YouTube as this kick returned up past the 30 or to the 30 by Lily Nakai and Brett. Obviously, the scenario show tomorrow is of extreme importance for the games airing tomorrow, but lots to look forward to.
Well, it's not only for tomorrow, it's also for the teams tonight, especially when it comes to our other game in this block, including San Diego, who are holding on by a thread. They just started their game about 5 minutes ago. So if you want to simulcast, you've got San Diego Indy on the other way, along with this Fort Worth-Baltimore matchup.
All those nights where you need to have 2 different screens so you can watch both of these games at once. Dunhill drops back on a first down. One-handed grab, E.J. Minson. That was fancy, and that is a candidate for your retro nice hands catch of the game. Play the only video game with your player in it. Visit GoRetroid.com.
Yeah, would you be surprised that Marcus Dunhill was left without a completion in the first quarter, and this is his first completion of the game to E.J. Minson? And that just looked pretty simple on his end. He just walked in and was like, yep, I can do it with one hand. And knowing E.J. Minson, he probably thought that way.
Oh man, that was not a bad way to get your first completion in the game for Marcus Dunhill. He'll drop back. Handoff up the middle. That picks up nothing. Good defense from Baltimore. Alvin Mack pushing from that outside linebacker position to make the stop.
Yeah, they're doing really good work on just at least trying to shut down as much of the run game as possible for the time that we've seen it so far. Just the 7th carry, I believe, in the game for Fort Worth, but that's still more than their pass attempts from Marcus Dunhill.
And up the middle this time, there's a bit more room for Bacon, but still Only a 4-yard pickup, and means the third down is going to be 6 yards worth.
Yeah, watch out. Just, I don't need you dying on me here, Jacob. I know things
I
have
don't
been
know
tough
what
today,
happened there.
but everything's good. We're here in Baltimore, 10-0, 7:50 left in the second quarter.
6 yards required for the first down. Dunhill drops back. Pressure. There is none. Dunhill still looking downfield. Oh my goodness. What a play that would have been had Cade Stevens have been able to bring that down. But Giovanni Bolt did enough.
When I was looking at the time that Dunhill had, I was thinking to myself, he's going to throw that baby deep, isn't he? And I see that ball thrown, and it's going deeper, deeper. I'm like, man, he's going for pay dirt. Who's there? It's Kate. Oh, no, Kate Stevens. And then it gets jostled loose. Fort Worth with almost a money play to get themselves a quick 6.
That would have brought the house down had he have reeled that in at the goal line. This punt, though, is a fairly good one. It's going to be spotted behind the 20 at the 17. And that's where Baltimore will take over. But you just get the sense that they're settled into this game a little bit more.
Yeah, just a little bit more settled. They've got points on the board, which Fort Worth hasn't yet. And that's the big difference, is that Baltimore has been ready. Maybe you can take home field advantage into a factor in this, because it is Sports Gamers Online Stadium, probably one of the most feared stadiums in the SFL.
Start with 3 wide, handoff short side. That's Warren Murray, picks up 6. His Baltimore run game has looked really good early.
Yeah, and it's coming in bunches as well. Both Murray and Gaines have just looked impressive through this first, 13 minutes of this game, because they're getting looks from inside and out, as well as great coverage from their line.
Handoff up the middle to Warren Murray. And in fact, it's Arbor Kimbrell on that occasion, and worth noting, both of the 2 main backs here, T-Roy Gaines and Warren Murray, averaging just shy of 5 yards per carry at the moment. For the analysis brought to us tonight by Dakota Butts and Justin Reside in the stats truck. Wigmore, first down. Irvin wide open again. Davis left him in a lot of space, and Ivory Irvin is going to pick up a first down.
Again, we talked about this earlier. You can't leave space for Ivory Irvin, because Wigmore is just going to go right to him. And Aiden Davis, maybe jostling a little bit too far back, was maybe hoping Irvin would speed up with him. It didn't happen, so Irvin just kind of slowed things down, had the space, got the catch.
It's his 5th catch of the night, averaging exactly 11 yards per reception. Fresh set of downs here for the Vultures. Chima in motion to make it a more traditional ace look. Wigmore, roll out, is going to go to the backfield here with Warren Murray, and looks lucky to pick up a yard there. Delaney Nash in on stop.
Yeah, they had Nash in coming on pursuit, as well as Adam Leach approaching, basically playing a false coverage man on that shifting motion, and got to the right side of the run.
Handoff, short side. That's going to be a pickup of about 5 from Hubba Kimbrell. And that means that 3rd and medium upcoming.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be too surprised if Baltimore goes past, because Wigmore has been really accurate, especially to Irvin. So if they can get himself open, especially on that trips bunch, I believe it's Chima on the far side. So I'm looking at Irvin on the bottom of your screen here.
He will move in motion and get more of a quads look here on offense. Wigmore with 4 to throw at. Pump fake to no one. Looking downfield, too big. He was looking for the aforementioned Ivory Irvin, but it was just a little overthrown, and it will be forced to punt.
Yeah, he decided to change the pace, as we saw him slow down on the streak route that got the catch earlier. He tried to breeze by on what was a Fort Worth kind of a zone, but the safety as well as the shifting corner in that area was able to cover it.
Punt sails away. It's going to be bouncing at the 10, but didn't get the bounce that Matty Coffins was after, and it's going to trickle into the end zone. That's where Fort Worth will trot it out to the 20, I should say.
Yeah, things have kind of stifled a little bit for Fort Worth's offense. Just 43 yards in this first half so far, so they need to step it up offensively if they want to get back in this game.
Here comes Dunhill. That last drive ended with a huge heave downfield to Cade Stevens that couldn't find him at the end zone. So they come up here on offense. Lili Nakai in motion from right to left. Handoff up the middle. JZ Bacon trying to find room. Good tackle, though. He almost got free, if not for Giovanni Bolt with the pursuit.
And you can tell that there's a little bit of a struggle with JZ Bacon in terms of trying to get open past the first level, not the second level. These linebackers, keeping an eye on where Bacon goes on the run.
He's averaging just over 4 yards per carry at this point in time. Going to move Robert Garrett Jr. from side to side here. Handoff up the middle. That appears to be a run for Aaron Alexander. That goes for a couple. Tackle made by Saron Yates, and that means that I'll have to have a crack here from 3rd and short.
It's very interesting that Baltimore is really shoring up defensively, because it's definitely been one of those seasons to forget in terms of numbers for Baltimore defensively. The 24th ranked defense in terms of yards allowed per game.
And up at the middle, that's a first down. Explosive speed there out of the backfield. Picks up a comfortable first down.
Yeah, I think that's what they need. They need to get themselves that first down, because then that'll set the motion going for Fort Worth's offense.
That a carry for the backup fullback Rock Cartwright after the carry from Alexander on the previous play. Single back is Bacon. Dunhill pressured. Throws and caught. Great grab. Downfield. Finds Cade Stevens for the first time tonight.
That was 100% needling through a stymied defense. Right in front of Keenan Samuels, and then right behind there was a defender as well. And only Cade Stevens could get to that ball.
Stevens' first catch. Dunhill hasn't so much as looked at the five-time All-Star and Stephen Hacker just yet. However, he'll move in motion here from right to left.
Yeah, I wouldn't look at him either. He's pretty ugly. No, I'm kidding.
I didn't expect that from you. Dunhill hit! Oh, Keenan Samuels, lineman had to get back there and make the tackle. That was almost disastrous for Fort Worth. But Keenan Samuels has a turnover.
Man, Jacob, I hate to be the one of premonitions, but guess who that was going to? That was going to Stephen Hacker. And then it ended up, boom, right in the hands of Keenan Samuels, and he jumped in front of the ball, and Baltimore just carrying that momentum again, pushing themselves forward, almost into field goal range in this starting drive.
We may have been the undoing of Marcus Dunhill's composure there on that occasion. And Baltimore now take over at the 35. What a result for the Vultures. Could be a game-breaking turnover. Wigmore drops back. Short throw caught. That's a big play, and it's going to set them up in the red zone. Mac Chima.
And that was, again, just placed in the right spot in between the two defenders where only the mackiest and the cheesiest could get to it. Mac Chima just, again, trying to get through a one-on-one battle with Adam Leach. Delaney Nash pursuing in on that throw as well. But again, placement of the football is key when throwing it. And if you can get it to just your receiver, that makes you one of the best in the league of all time.
Winding down this second quarter clock here, Baltimore. Drop back again here with Wigmore. Looking, caught! Oh, Ackerman! That was stylish, and he's going to be pinned at the goal line.
Now, more than stylish, that was miraculous from Caesar Ackerman. You see the replay once again. See how that he's basically a diving effort with a tough lineman in the form of E.K. Vincent all over him. He gets in front of Vincent to get the one-handed catch.
They're a yard away now with a fresh set of downs. They got 0 gains that appears in the backfield here on this first down. Trying to wind this down to the 2-minute warning almost. Handoff, short side, Murray. Murray plugged! Oh, great tackle. Preventing a touchdown there on that occasion. J.L. Browning got across. And that's going to bring us to the 2-minute warning. Back here at Sports Gamers Online Stadium, and J.L. Browning has prevented a touchdown, but Baltimore are now effectively a fingernail away from the end zone stripe. Handoff. Oh, T-Roy Gaines. Nothing can stop him from that close to the goal line. And Baltimore are up by 16-0.
There's a reason why he leads this team in rushing touchdowns, and it's because of goal line runs like this. Yes, it might only been a couple inches to the end zone, but when you trust in someone like T-Roy Trains, he's going to burst his way through the line, get yourself 6 points, get career touchdown number 128 of his career, and just like that, Baltimore is maybe starting to run away with this with 2 minutes to go.
Extra point from Tarkington has not been good, and now the pressure is really on Fort Worth. They've got just under 2 minutes in this second quarter here to try and get something on the board, because you would not want to end the half of football here on the road without a score on the board.
And then to think Baltimore were 3.5-point dogs coming into this game, and now up 17, really putting it to Fort Worth in this first half.
Kickoff from Tarkington, and will be returned up past the 20 here, and will be dropped at the 27. There, Charlie Baker this time on kick return duties, and now Marcus Dunhill will look to come out here and potentially shake off the interception from that previous drive.
Yeah, basically just has to shake everything off at this point. It hasn't been a first half to remember for him so far, just 2 of 7. And a QBR of, get this, Jacob, 8.9.
Well, put it this way, it can't get much worse than that, unfortunately, for Marcus Dunhill. The only way is up here, and it could potentially start here on this possession. 3 receivers for Dunhill, 2 in the backfield. He's going to move, appears to be Hacker from left to right again. He's going to hand it off to the far side. Bacon, they swarm him, and Frank Smith is going to dump him behind the line with company from Alvin Mack.
Yeah, it felt like Bacon wanted to cut inside and just didn't have enough space, so he tried to trust in his linemen. I think a cut outside would have been a little bit more beneficial in my opinion, but nonetheless, a loss of 1.
Single back off to the right again. 3 receivers in the fold for Dunhill. He's going to drop back, rolls around, pump fake. Still got time. Dunhill deep downfield. Caught! What a play from Marcus Dunhill. Bought himself about a year's worth of time in the backfield, and E.J. Minson has his second grab of the game.
And despite what you see on the scoreline, this is the reason why Fort Worth has 8 wins this season, is they get the risky plays and they make it deliver. E.J. Minson and Stephen Hacker have eaten on those plays all season, been well fed because of it, and it's one of the reasons why Fort Worth moves down the field so well.
Handoff, short side. Baker with a full head of steam picks up 5, and that's going to be the first of 3 timeouts called by Fort Worth.
Yeah, Fort Worth needs to take advantage of this situation. They're close to field goal range. They really need to get themselves even closer. They basically, I think, in this drive, they need 6.
I think anything other than 6 after that play would be a travesty. They're at the 35 here. Dunhill drops back again. Pressure was non-existent. What a play! Wow! Picked off at the ankles by Giovanni Bolt at the 20, and that is going to go down as a highlight reel play.
I mean, it's a highlight reel play, but that was a throw to, let's be honest, that was to nobody at all. Widely overthrown by his defenders. And Gio Bolt, you got to give credit where credit's due. He dives and slides to get that catch before it hits the ground. And again, Baltimore has all the momentum in this first half.
Second interception now for Dunhill. Baltimore have a minute to work with if they want to try and produce something here before the half is out. Wigmore will drop back. Why not? Snips it. First down grab made there by, I believe, Ben Harrison, the tight end, and that will get them moving.
And move, and why not continue to move? You got to think to yourselves, this is essentially a primer for a future wild card game for Baltimore if they get this win, and they're going to be at home, so they need to not let the foot off the gas pedal. Just bring it to their opponents for all 40 minutes, because if you let up, you're going to show weakness for whoever's studying you next week.
That catch was brought to you by Jackson Roberts. Please don't ask me where I got that previous name from, because I don't know. Wigmore now with a fresh set of downs. Drops back. He zips it. Again caught downfield. And they're on the move now. Another timeout called by the Vultures.
Yeah, they're seeing something in this Fort Worth defense that they can move forward on this drive. So they're saying, hey, why not? Let's get ourselves into at least field goal range, get us to 20 points. That's going to be pretty good. But at the end of the day, Baltimore just completely dominant in the first half.
Fourth season veteran Daly Holder with his first catch of the game. Drops back again, Wigmore. Short throw. That was not quite on there. Looking for Chima on the outside route and incomplete.
Yeah, and that one looked to be just like a jostling of position between basically four players, two on offense, two on defense, both trying to maybe do a crossing route between each other. And once Wigmore threw it, nobody was there.
Try again with 15 seconds on the clock to try and get some field position, but the way this offense is looking now, I suspect they'll be conservative. Hand off short side. Don't let him break it off. Warren Murray picks up 8 yards. They'll go no huddle.
Oh, that's
What's
interesting.
Baltimore trying to do here? 5 seconds and ticking. They've got back to the line. And timeout. There you go. All that for nothing.
That's just going to leave themselves for a Hail Gary situation, and this might be a little bit more favorable considering it's about by 40. I can't even say words anymore, Jacob. It's been one of those days for me apparently. But they're around 40 yards away from this, so they could go deep. But they've got a heavy formation, so they might just run this out.
Never know what could happen in these situations. Warren Murray carry up the middle, got through one defender, but he's dumped by looked like Delaney Nash, and that will do us for one half of football here in Baltimore. The Vultures lead at 17 points to nothing in a bit of a shock here. The 5 seed Fort Worth Toros down heavily after one half of football. Baltimore still trying to pursue a first round home playoff game, I should say. And Brett Solberg, I'll get your thoughts on that half of football.
Well, it certainly feels like one team is showing up to the stadium tonight, and it's the form of the Baltimore Vultures, especially an explosive second quarter, 150 total yards, which has led them to the 17-0 lead. More importantly, that atrocious first quarter from Fort Worth has really started to set the momentum for things in terms of the Fort Worth offense. Now they got at least a little bit of offense going, but they're still at 111 yards, which is falling behind the pace of what's being set right now. And this defense has been tough as ever. We're not talking about sacks or anything like that. We're talking about deflecting passes, 2 early picks on Marcus Dunhill. We know how it feels like sometimes bipolar he can get with his interception situation. Sometimes he can be good, sometimes he can throw 4 all of a sudden, but Baltimore so far has read the book of Fort Worth and said, this is easy so far.
Back here at Sports Games Online Stadium in Baltimore, Maryland, the Fort Worth Toros will receive the opening second half kickoff, trying to make a game out of this and keep their 3-win streak alive heading into the playoffs. Kick from Tarkington up through the air, and it will not be returned at the back of the end zone by Leland Nakai. It seems like Fort Worth have used about 6 different returners in this game, but Toros will pick it up here at the 20.
Yeah, they're just trying to find some magic wherever that's going to be. And right now, with their backs against the wall, I wouldn't be too surprised if Dunhill kind of slings this rock despite what the stats are showing him so far.
He had a rough first half, only really had a connection with Minton, which is uncharacteristic. Hasn't found Hacker yet so far tonight. The hand up the middle for Jay-Z Bacon, picks up 4.
And it doesn't matter what you do as an offense, you still have to establish the run in some sense. And Bacon has done pretty all right so far with the limited carries that he's had. 8 attempts, now his 9th, up to 33 yards. I still call that pretty decent.
See there, the stats completely lopsided there in favour of the Vultures. Hand up the middle, Keenan Samuels just says, not today to Jay-Z Bacon, and that sets Fort Worth up with a 3rd and long.
Yeah, the linebackers have been on point tonight. Keenan Samuels, Alvin Mack, Frank Smith, all being involved in a lot of tackles. I believe they've been involved in about 12 or 14 of the Fort Worth plays.
Dunhill will drop back to have a crack here on 3rd down. Caught by Stevens. Boy, did they need that. Stevens with his 2nd grab of the game.
Yeah, and this was good. This was a good read from Fort Worth because Baltimore really just pinned themselves deep. They're hoping for another deep throw in a 3rd down situation that we've seen before, and they decide to go a little bit shorter. Still a longer pass than most teams throw, it feels like, but it's short in terms of the Fort Worth sense, and it finds Stevens open for a 1st down.
Single back off to Dunhill's left here with a fresh set of downs. Hand off to Bacon up the middle, trying to get through Samuels. Can't do so, and he's dumped after a 3-yard pickup.
Yeah, it's again, it looks like in this quarter, starting off with a little bit of tough running from Fort Worth. They're trying to get themselves moving forward, get themselves in a more favorable position so that Dunhill may not throw the ball as much, but Baltimore has been ready for the task.
2nd and 7 here, 3 wide for Fort Worth. Handoff short side for Charlie Baker on that occasion. Picks up a couple. Keenan Samuels again on the stop.
They're really making things difficult for essentially Fort Worth's runners to get past the 2nd level of defense. They can get past that 1st level on the line, but those linebackers have just been on point tonight.
Bacon checks back in. Alexander off to the left, 3 wide here for Dunhill to throw to on 3rd down. He's got good protection up front. Rolls out to the side. Dunhill throws it downfield. Caught by Stevens. Tried to get 3, but Marvin Hines back there to make the stop. But that's a field flipper there from Marcus Dunhill.
There was 2 parts of that play that really worked out for Cade Stevens. First off, he got separation and got the catch. And then second off, he found a path veering to the right side that he could exploit a little bit, get a little bit of speed over Ben Stackenpaper, who was on pursuit on him, and got the extra yardage, get Fort Worth inside the end zone. And for the first time, Fort Worth is threatening.
The deep ball starting to make a bit more sense here for Marcus Dunhill. The handoff upside is going to go to Baker, and Baker will pick up about 5. Good carry.
And I imagine how difficult it is as a broadcaster to separate Baker and Bacon. That just it's not a great roster structure from a broadcaster standpoint. But these two are cooking.
They've been good on this possession. 2nd and 5 now. Another running set showing from Fort Worth. Baltimore are going to put some pressure up front. Motion this single receiver from right to left. Hand off at the middle. That's Bacon. And Bacon's going to run straight at Keenan Samuels, but Samuels held on. In fact, it was Aaron Alexander, the fullback, on that carry. 3rd and short.
And again, Fort Worth wants to see if they can get a 1st down through the run, but Baltimore has been finding ways to just stymie the running backs enough to prevent from the 1st down. But this one's their closest, 3rd and 1.
Dunhill, quarterback draw. It works. Marcus Dunhill. That's the 1st down on the unorthodox design run. And now they're at goal to go.
Well, it looked like it wasn't going to work from the start because Dunhill was having a little bit of difficulty getting around the line, but he finds the open space and still gets the 1st down, which is crucial for Fort Worth.
There's goal line defense here from Baltimore. They're going to still run at them, trying to get forward progress, and does so as Aaron Alexander. That was a tough carry. It's going to get them closer.
But again, they're just looking to see if they can establish the run. Maybe if they get a touchdown through the run, they can start second-guessing Baltimore's defense. But right now, again, up to the task is the linebacking core.
Stevens in motion left to right. Dunhill throw in this situation. He will delayed handoff. It doesn't work. Well read. Out of the backfield. JZ Bacon's going to be planted back by Frank Smith.
Yeah, Smith off the snap, just immediately went past the line, saw the draw was happening, got to Bacon.
I liked the play call, but it was just beautifully read by Frank Smith. Now Dunhill's going to roll out. Got a good block on the edge. Threw it at the end zone. It's tipped away. Good defense there from Enzo Bolt.
Yeah, and it's tough when you have basically a Baltimore zone that's more so focused on just covering the front of the end zone. And it's Stephen Hacker against the world, it felt like, on that throw. And it just didn't work out. Stack and Paper got his hands on it. Hacker can try to haul it when it goes out of bounds, and Fort Worth's going to have to settle for a field goal attempt.
And Stack and Paper, 8-season veteran, 2-time All-Star there on that tip. It almost fell in the lap of Stephen Hacker, but instead it will be Amelia Rose who will knock over a field goal attempt, and that's, to be completely honest with you, Brad, a really disappointing end. It was a drive that spanned nearly 5 minutes. They couldn't come away with a major score.
100%. If you're thinking of, extending a drive past 4 minutes, you need to end it in a score.
Still gets something on the board. Yeah, and that kickoff not returned by Daly Holder. And Baltimore will come back out here on offense for the first time in the half. They've had a long rest. The usual halftime break turned into quite an extensive one for the Vultures offense, but Wigmore now out here, 4 wide, I should say. 3 to his right. Fort Worth playing their corners close. Handoff though up the middle to Warren Murray. Murray trying to get some room, picks up 6.
Yeah, and again, both teams want to establish the run. It just feels like Baltimore might be doing it a little bit more efficiently, just in the form of basically the main 3 running backs have all had, good involvement with the offense. And Warren Murray now getting himself a lot more involved, now up to 52 yards on his 12th carry.
Handoff again, short side, that's Kimbrell. And Kimbrell not quite getting the first down there. In fact, it was T-Roy Gaines there on that carry. Delaney Nash saving it. It means that they'll have to go again here from 3rd and short.
And you can see a little bit of a difference between the Baltimore and Fort Worth defenses. Fort Worth brought in the house, and I was trying to get to T-Roy, but was just too late.
Bring the house here again. Handoff, short side. Murray dumped, he didn't get it.
Oh, no.
They're going to spot him at the first down, but it didn't look like he got there. This is certainly going to be challenged here by Luis Gonzalez.
Yeah, rightly so. That looked to be short of the first down. I would have called it short of the first down. And we're going to get ourselves a retroactive look brought to you by Retroid.
Get your Retroid Pocket 3 Plus at GoRetroid.com, and we'll have a retroactive look at the play that just happened here. It didn't look like Warren Murray was anywhere near the first down marker.
Yeah, this, honestly, I'll say this. There's the better camera angle. You got to look where the football lands. And it looks like it just crossed the line of scrimmage, but it didn't even get across the line of scrimmage. So I would say that's going to be overturned.
That was a great shot from the camera crew, and that, again, confirms our suspicions. So the challenge from Luis Gonzalez on the sideline from Fort Worth is successful, and just as quickly, Fort Worth's offense is going to get the ball back.
Yeah, and that's going to be big because Fort Worth got the field goal and got some points on the board, and then followed it up by stopping Baltimore in their tracks to get themselves another opportunity. Could this be a sign of things turning around in favor of Fort Worth?
Eddie Coffins to try and pin them back as far as possible. It's a good punt. Fielded at a 25, and it will be returned up. Good return, though, to match. And Fort Worth will take over here at the 35.
again, let's focus back in on Marcus Dunhill. He hasn't had a fantastic game to his standards at this point. Just needs to calm things down, make sure that he finds his targets, and then and make sure that mixing everything in well enough between the run game and the pass game leads to 6 points.
See there, his last attempts have been a little bit sporadic, just to say the least.
Yeah.
Any completions been above 15, and he's had 2 interceptions involved in his last 10 as well. Handoff up the left-hand side for Jay-Z Bacon was met quickly.
Some would call that the Jameis Winston style offense, where you just huck and hope almost. But I like to think Dunhill's just a little bit better in terms of current ability. But nonetheless, again, if you want to trust in an arm, you still got to trust in Dunhill.
Handoff up the middle to the back there in. And not the other backup right fullback there on that occasion picks up about 6, and that means third down is a little shorter.
Been a little bit interesting in terms of third down efficiencies for both these teams. Right now, Fort Worth rocking a 4 for 8 in terms of that, so they're doing all right. They just need to pick it up a little bit more than they have so far. 3 of 4 in the third quarter.
Need a deuce to pick up the first down here. They're going to move a tight end from left to right. And James Jennings. Split backfield here for the Toros. Handoff to Bacon, trying to push forward. Great play. Gutsy effort from Aaron Alexander. And he has had some really crucial third down runs tonight.
Now, and you said it, crucial third run downs that have really helped Fort Worth just continue drives. And that was a run that needed the drive to continue for sure.
Fresh set of downs, just shy of halfway for Fort Worth here. Handoff up the middle. That one is going to be met quickly. Good defense, and there's an injury. One of the Baltimore players has gone down, and it's Frank Smith.
And he's probably been one of the more effective players out there. Yes, Keenan Samuels has been involved in 10 tackles, but Frank Smith does have the TFL and the pass deflection to his name as well. So he's going to be a key loss on the inside. And really, if you're Fort Worth, you're looking at who's stepping in that position, see if you can exploit that.
Defensive captain there, and Frank Smith is checking out. They don't have a backup in that position, so there'll be some reshuffling made by the Baltimore defense. Dunhill drops back, short throw. That's caught by Robert Garrett Jr., and that will be good enough to bring them down to a 3rd and short.
Yeah, with that loss to Frank Smith, this might open up an opportunity such as Robert Garrett Jr. to get himself opportunities, because sometimes with that coverage, you got a linebacker on your hind side. So I think that might be an opportunity for the Cowboy to get more involved.
Handoff up the middle. It's Baker. Baker's going to pick up a first down. Good work again from the 4th. It's Alexander. I should just revert automatically. Every time it's like a 3rd and 2, it's going to be Aaron Alexander. And once again, he executes.
Hey, and his numbers don't look, super gaudy, just 21 yards on 7 carries. But how many of those carries have resulted in first downs?
He's a great guy as well, Aaron Alexander. Talked to him quite a bit in his rookie campaign. Handoff up the middle. Picks up 4 on that occasion. About time it was Bacon. And Fort Worth's offense with the rushing side of it is just doing what it needs to do. Another sustained, suffocating drive that we saw earlier. Trying to convert it into points.
Just inching themselves forward, which if you're up, it's fine. But if you're down, you have to start looking at the clock a little bit.
Dunhill rolls out. Pressure was there. Oh, that was... He asked a ton there of Charlie Baker, and he couldn't reel it in.
And it was a good find to try to get Charlie Baker. You got to remember, he is a converted wide receiver to running back, so he still has the ability to catch, those tough passes. But then maybe that was a little bit too tough even for him. 3
wide here for the Toros. Split backfield. on 3rd and 6. They can't run it with Alexander this time. Dunhill rolls out. It goes across his body. It's caught by Stevens. He's found that connection again. And Cade's going to set them up with just shy of goal to go.
And again, it's a deep connection over to Cade Stevens on 3rd down. And if it ain't Aaron Alexander, it's going to be Cade Stevens on this 3rd down, it feels like, because Dunhill's been finding the sweet spot for Stevens, and it's paid off in dividends. 3 receptions, 4 targets. It seems like it's automatic.
Once again, Fort Worth 11 out from the goal line. Have to convert here. Handoff up the middle goes to Bacon, who's stopped after just a gain of 3.
And it's a very generous 3. It looked to be maybe just over 2 yards personally. But they're going to give him a little bit extra spot of the football. And if I'm Fort Worth, you have to push this into 3rd gear. You have to push this into the next gear. Get yourself into the end zone, get some points.
Ace formation here on offense for Fort Worth. 4-3 from the Vultures. They're going to move Jennings in motion from right to left, 2 tight ends on that right-hand side of the line. Dunhill rolls out to the left. Good blocking in front. Ooh. Tipped away. Incomplete. Giovanni Bolt had to make that play, and it's going to set them up with 3rd and long.
Yeah, and I was a little bit shocked that Bolt could get to the football because he was way in front of the pass, and maybe that might have been a little bit discredit for Dunhill to throw a little bit more of a laser. Maybe should have arced that baby into the end zone, but instead, it's going to be 3rd and 7.
Bunch to Dunhill's right. Single receiver at the bottom is Stephen Hacker, who still hasn't had a catch tonight. Dunhill drops back. Pressure was there.
Oh!
Picked up. Throwing back the other way is Enzo Bolt. And Dunhill's the only man back there. He stepped inside. Enzo Bolt is going to bring it out 35 yards. That is devastating for Fort Worth.
Man, devastating ain't the right word. That is cataclysmic, catastrophic, absolute bone-crushing, mind-crushing, momentum-crushing for Fort Worth, because they were 7 yards to the end zone, had an open look, and it got laser beamed into the arms of Enzo Bolt, and now Baltimore. Oh, look at this.
I think they're challenging the fact that Enzo Bolt stepped out of bounds about 10 yards.
The interception's going to stand. Yeah, the interception's going to stand, but they're going to probably get him on the fact that he might have stepped a little bit earlier and have Baltimore start in a further backfield position.
He definitely did. You'll see it here once Dunhill got to him. He put a foot out of bounds, so he'll probably lose about 10 yards. But that's still, as you mentioned, just an absolute crushing turnover. On 3rd down and long, they could have at very least just sort of been a bit more conservative, kick a field goal, and keep it with pace. But now Baltimore are going to take over, I'd imagine, around their 20, 25 kind of range, and potentially try and run some clock out.
Even so, it's still, yeah, they're maybe taking 7 yards back from it, but Baltimore might not have been a good 3rd quarter for them, but that defense has really bailed them out in this quarter.
And it's also the 3rd interception of the night for the Baltimore defense. And Wigmore now will take over. Short throw, tough grab made there in one-on-one coverage from Matt Chima. 3 quarters done here. We'll be right back at Sports Gamers Online Stadium in Baltimore, Maryland, to bring you the final quarter of this exciting Week 14 clash.
The Simulation Football League is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of the game without the express written consent of the league office is prohibited.
There you go, an update on Frank Smith. Probable to return tonight, but with the lead that they have, very unlikely that they'll take any gamble with him tonight. The 2024 SFL convention is headed to South Shore Harbor Resort in League City, Texas, just south of Houston. 12th of July to the 14th, featuring live games, flag football, a golf tournament, tailgate, and pool party, and more. For all the convention details, visit simulationfl.net/convention to reserve your room, see the event schedule, and more. First down carry here Warren Murray breaking it free, and he's going to pick up a good chunk of yardage past the 40. And Baltimore now just settled in, trying to write this game away.
Yeah, and if I'm Baltimore, I'm looking about just shedding this clock away. You've got yourself a comfortable lead at this point. Make sure you just extend this drive as long as you can. You've got the run tandem capable enough to push yourself forward. They've done it really well through this game. It's a great example of Baltimore really trying to cruise themselves in to a home wildcard game.
Right on halfway here. Toss play outside to T-Roy Gaines. Can't find much room there. Jeff Duffy in on the stop. Wigmore again here. Have another crack here. They've lost 2 on that previous run. Drops back here out of a heavy set. Wigmore searches downfield, caught by, looks like Ackerman there for a pickup of about 8.
It kind of helps them move a little bit forward after a loss on their first down play. But Wigmore stayed composed, confident, and hasn't done anything risky through this game, which might be the difference maker.
Caesar Ackerman's 4th catch of the night for 28 yards. 1 catch shy of Ivory Irvin, who leads the Vultures tonight. Wigmore will drop back, rolls out to the far side. Zips it, intercepted! Look out! Here, going back the other way!
There's a
going
path.
back! There's room to move.
He's got to be Wigmore.
He's got Wigmore. Got back there. I couldn't quite catch who had picked the ball off. That's a shocker on my part. But a ridiculously good play from Ben Stone, and Fort Worth right back in the game.
Yeah, again, getting in front of Ivory Irvin, who they know that if they're going to pass that ball and need first downs, they're going to get it to. And Stone just finds a fantastic path over the right side and gets past the offensive lineman. Just had Jack Wigmore to beat. Eventually gets brought down, but Fort Worth basically back to where they were before Dunhill threw his most recent interception, gets a second chance.
Well, here we go. Could that be the play that shifts this game around completely? But Fort Worth has to execute here. They are fast running out of chances, and this might be the best one of the lot. Dunhill rolls out, got a good block on that edge, sets it outside, caught for a good gain of about 9. Zipped it and found one of the backs, I believe, and it's Charlie Baker.
Yeah, they'll use that. Charlie Baker is a good receiving back option to go with. He just slings it over the defender to get it to Baker's hands. It was a good throw. Now he needs to do that again if he wants to pass this into the end zone.
Joker's look here for the Toros. Hacker alone at the top of the screen. Plenty of room for him to operate in, but it's going to be a run up the middle. Alexander finds room, picks up a first down. There might have been an injury on the play, and it is Aaron Alexander who had the carry. That could be really important.
I think that was just an awkward landing from Alexander as well, as if you see him diving to get the first down marker, and he's kind of limping in. I'm not sure if we'll see him for the rest of the quarter with that, and they're still going to mark him short.
I thought he got that for sure. The referees disagree with my eyes. I don't blame them for that. But 3rd and inches upcoming here. Bacon might be the one that needs to make the play. Again, Hacker alone up the top. Going to move him in motion. No one picks him up. Look out. He's wide open, Stephen Hacker.
That should be a short pass opportunity.
Dunhill, quarterback draw again! 6 points! The unorthodox look once again, and Marcus Dunhill puts Fort Worth back in the game.
And there's only a few teams that use the quarterback draw in their playbooks. Seattle's one of them. I believe San Diego does as well. But no one does it really better than Marcus Dunhill, at least this week, because that's 2 plays where we thought maybe a short pass to Hacker would do it. But no, he decides to draw himself in, open path to the middle, and boom, right into the end zone. Fort Worth not only has life, but they're back in this game.
This game had hit a lull at the start of the 4th quarter, and then Ben Stone woke the sleeping giant, and just like that, Fort Worth have finally got an offensive score up on the board, and we have a football game here with 8 minutes to go here in Baltimore. The Vultures now trying to hold on to their now 7-point lead to secure a home playoff game. Kickoff from Rose finds the end zone, but it will be returned by David Anderson up past the 25, and he will get no further than that. It will be marked at the 27. So Baltimore now trying to shake off that turnover from the last drive.
They're going to shake off a very quiet quarter for them as well. Only got 18 yards of offense in that third quarter, but only saw the football for 1 minute and 11 seconds in that quarter. So they're going to look to see try to turn things around a little bit, see if they can move themselves forward, and most importantly, Wigmore's got to shake off that interception he threw to Ben Stone.
He's going to have a single back here in Murray. 2 receivers to his left. 4-3 defense out of Fort Worth. They play their corners back. Wigmore handoff short side. Murray beats the first line of defenders, but good tackle. Chased down by Delaney Nash.
Yeah, and you have to think if they don't throw this with Rigmore, it's going to be 3 straight runs from the combination of Murray, Kimbrell, and Gaines. So you have to focus on who's going to be on that back. Right now it's Kimbrell, so he might get a look on this second down handoff.
2 wide again. You have an ace look. Handoff straight up the middle. And T-Roy Gaines is going to pick up maybe a yard there on that occasion. Again, Nash on the stop.
Yeah, that was a tough hit as well. Basically got past the line of scrimmage and no more. Immediately hit backwards. They'll give him forward progression for what looked to be like half a yard.
4 wide on 3rd down and 6. Wigmore drops back, zips it. Urban wide open, spin move. Ivory Urban off to the races, but a great chase down tackle. What a play saver there, but Ivory Urban putting on a show.
Absolutely. You look at how this play happened. It was just great protection in the pocket. And you see again, they tried to go with some kind of pseudo zone play, and it looked to me like one of the defenders just stayed tight. It looked to be Tavius Gordon that was on the initial coverage, and it led to Ben Stone trying to reel himself in, but it was too late.
Wow, that was Baltimore were on the ropes a little bit there, and now all of a sudden they're back in overdrive. Wigmore drops back on a fresh set of down, zips it downfield. That's incomplete. Defender took Mac Chima away from the ball there, and Adam Leach.
Yeah, just a hit and jar that ball loose, give Chima no chance to get a catch on it. Reset Baltimore for second down.
Wigmore at the 38. Single back with 2 receivers to his left, 2 tight ends in the line again. This ace look, a dump off to the backfield. Warren Murray beats 1. Ben Stone to beat. Got through him, but only picks up 5. A tough carry from Warren Murray. Sets them up with a 3rd and medium again.
Very tough carry, because that could have been a loss of 2 immediately, but he sheds 2 tacklers to get forward past the defensive line and then gets a couple yards extra. Good run from Warren Murray.
Wigmore on 3rd down, quads look, looks downfield, incomplete, tip from behind. Big play made there by Adam Leach on Ivory Irvin.
And what hasn't been mentioned here is that this is a deep field goal attempt coming up for Shark Tarkington. I believe this is going to be from the deep 40s.
They've got Coffins out there. They're punting this, Brett.
Wow.
No gambles here. So they're going to try and pin them deep, which might not be the worst idea in the world, given the fact they have got the lead still. And it's a sensational punt from Matty Coffins. It's going to be spotted at the 5.
Yeah, probably around the 6 or 7. Yeah, they're going to spot it at the 7-yard line. But, man, 93 yards to get to the end zone to try to tie things up. But there's still 6 minutes on the board. Man, this is building cinema, if I say so myself.
Some games, the script is starting to make for a really, really good game to finish off with here. Handoff up the middle for Jay-Z Bacon, picks up about 6, and that just gets them a little bit away from the goal line.
Yeah, and that's the biggest key here, because we've now seen Dunhill throw 3 picks in this game. and you have to trust in your run game to kind of move forward in any matter you can. And this is a good start by getting 6 yards.
4 needed for the first down here. Dunhill will hand it off again to the short side. Looks like, is that Aaron Alexander? Did he check back in off the interchange bench? Keenan Samuels in on the stop.
Well, injuries be damned. Alexander will still fight his way through. If he's got to run with one leg, if he's got to breeze through with no head, he's going to do it.
Keenan Samuels, 12 tackles tonight. He's had a night. But now, on 3rd and 2, they have to convert. Hand off at the middle.
Ooh.
Got to him, Alvin Mack. Huge tackle.
Now, here's the big question, Jacob. Is Fort Worth aggressive enough to go on 4th down here? Or are they going to trust in their defense to stop Baltimore one more time to give themselves a chance? In this case, they're going to punt it away.
The answer with about 4.5 left on the 4th quarter clock is no. And the punt will sail away here. Be fair caught at the 42 by Ivory Irvin. And irrespective, it's still a really good punt. He kicked that from basically the foot of his own end zone, so it's gone over 40 yards on the fly.
And then there you see it from the 3rd down efficiency. Fort Worth's goal on this drive for sure should be to get Baltimore to 3rd down, because fortune has favored Fort Worth on 3rd down defensively.
With more now, they've loved this ace look in the second half. Hand off to Murray, short side again. They swarm in with defenders, including Aiden Davis, along with J.L. Browning. It's only a 2-yard pickup.
Yeah, the right way to do it is just to smother that run game, see which way he's going, and if he goes that way, bring the house to him.
Wigmore throw to the backfield, caught. Almost first down pick up there for Harbour Kimbrell, and that gives them a 3rd and short. And Brett, you mentioned you just got to get Baltimore to 3rd down, but is it close enough that they can run this over for a 3rd down completion?
This is tough because they left Kimbrell open on the dump pass and maybe a little bit too open to get the yardage enough. And right now, with how the offensive line has really worked for Baltimore, this almost feels like a gimme.
Third down and short, handoff to the far side. It will be a first down carry for T-Roy Gaines, and it keeps the drive moving and the clock ticking for the Vultures.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Baltimore just wants to run this clock out, and I don't disagree with that. Fort Worth has really started to cook in this second half offensively. You don't want that Fort Worth unit back out. So run the ball, run the clock, run the game.
First and 10 here over the halfway line. Baltimore trying to keep the clock moving now. Under 3 minutes left for Fort Worth. Could be a huge first down pickup on that play just prior. Handoff up the middle. Just goes straight at them was Warren Murray. Picks up a couple. J.L. Browning again on the stop.
And again, it's just all about focusing. They might be able to, they'll definitely be able to get this to the 2-minute warning, and they're going to have to trust in getting more first downs to see, basically one first down to seal this game. But for Fort Worth, you're trying to find every way possible to stop the run, maybe get the football jarred loose, and get yourself back to football.
2nd and 8. Here, they tick down. They will have to make a play before the 2-minute warning. Handoff again up the middle. Gaines is stuffed. Good defense from Fort Worth, and that will take us to the 3rd 2-minute warning. Baltimore to convert from 3rd and long when we return to try and keep this drive moving and potentially seal the game. But before we get to that play, a game update from SFL headquarters.
Thanks, Jacob. When you're done in San Diego, the Mavericks dominated the first half, but Indy is dominating the second half. Colin Pierce to Ryan Roosevelt beats 2 defenders. The game is now tied at 10. Late in the third quarter, San Diego needs a win to stay alive. Back to you.
Joker's formation out here out of Baltimore. Are they going conservative on 3rd and long? What's the plan here for Wigmore? 4-3 out of Fort Worth. Are they just trying to
sure.
Yeah. Handoff. Gaines is not going to get anywhere. They swarm him with defenders, and Fort Worth will call a timeout. That is a huge, huge play.
Jacob, am I safe to saying that Baltimore just handed Fort Worth a chance with that play? It might be sounding a little bit pessimistic on my end, but that should have been probably a pass play to an Ivory Irvin or a Caesar Ackerman, but they instead try to run the ball on 3rd and long. I don't think that was the right call.
Coffins to try and get some distance on this one. It's going to be fair court at the 12, so they've got about 88 yards. Ironically, not 88, 78. I was going to say it would have been ironic if it was Stephen Hacker's number, who, yes, ladies and gentlemen, still does not have a catch in this game. They need him now. They need something, Fort Worth, to take this all the way downfield and potentially put this game at a level. They've got a long way to go here. Start out with 3 wide. Single back is Bacon. Dunhill zips it. Tip. Lowshaw. Going back the other way. Troy Lowshaw might have just called the ball game.
Man, first opportunity in when Baltimore gives you a chance in this game, and you throw it right into Troy Lowshaw's hands. And that has been the story for Fort Worth. Anytime it feels like they're trying to come back, try to claw back in this game, an untimely throw from Marcus Dunhill leads to 4 interceptions, and Baltimore is a first down away from securing a wild card home playoff game.
Fresh third downs here at the 15. Baltimore takes over. Potentially to ice this off. It's going to be very hard now for Fort Worth to try and forge a comeback. Handoff short side. Gaines almost broke it free, but he's tackled after a gain of 4.
And that'll be the second timeout called by Fort Worth. And they need to trust on everything. And then some. Even then, I feel like with Baltimore being so close, they could just seal it for sure with a Tarkington field goal.
Whatever you do, you can't turn the ball over here. You just have to get, even if you get stopped here. Tarkington is almost certain not to miss from this kind of range. Murray, handoff outside, picks up nothing, and Fort Worth will burn their final timeout.
Yeah, this is do or die for Fort Worth, and for them, they know they have a secured seed. They have the 5 seed, and they don't have to worry about really anything else. So they're okay with where they're at the moment, but you do not want to go into any playoff game riding a loss.
Handoff, that's going to be dumped. So now the clock will continue to run. Tackle made there by Sunny Sky, and Tarkington will knock over the field goal, but Fort Worth will effectively have, I would guess, around 40 seconds.
It's not going to be a lot of time for Fort Worth to try to get 10 points or even 14 points to try to either tie or win this game. But like you said earlier, this should feel a little bit more automatic for Shark Tarkington from 27.
Tarkington, he's made a few tonight already. Needs to knock this one over to potentially ice it for Baltimore. Swings it out from right to left, and it is up and good. And there we have it. 50 seconds left on the ticker for Fort Worth. 2-score advantage for the Vultures. And that interception off the tip from Troy Lowshaw might be a game sealer and might be enough for Baltimore to secure a home playoff game next week.
And to think Baltimore to not get themselves to at least 7 wins this season might have been sacrilegious to a lot of the people's minds, but they're about a minute and some away from it.
Return from Lili Nakai is going to be fielded at the 27. So The wildcard round of season 22 will kick off with another SFL postseason doubleheader on the Saturday and Sunday, April 20th and 21st, starting at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Don't miss any action in the SFL playoffs right here on SFL YouTube. Who will make it and who will make an impact when it matters the absolute most? And also tomorrow, we're going to have a whole division decided. That's the second time in 2 seasons where we've had a division undecided in week 14, and we've had both of those games put on the same night at the same time. What a night of football we've got tomorrow if you're still in need of more football action here in the SFL. Dunhill trying to go for it all, zips it downfield, it's incomplete. Trying to look for Stephen Hacker, who has been completely silenced tonight by this Baltimore secondary.
Yeah, exactly. Completely silenced. He's gotten a fair share of targets. He's gotten 3, and all those targets have led to the ball being dropped into the turf, and just a zero burger so far from Stephen Hacker with 42 seconds left.
3 wide for Dunhill, drops back, trying to find room, finds a man downfield. That might be Hacker, and that's his first catch of the night. Now they'll go no huddle. It was Nakai, you're right. 88, 89, same diff. Now Dunhill will spike it.
Yeah, get a different formation in. That was maybe a catch too close for comfort for Fort Worth, so they need to change the formation and find themselves a deep ball money play to either flip the field or hit the end zone.
Now here, 3 wide for Dunhill. Drops back, short throw, incomplete. Deep downfield for E.J. Minson, couldn't find him.
They tried that play twice now in the drive, and both have led to incompletions. I don't think that's going to work.
Third and 10, I'm going to bring out the 4 wide look again. Hacker in motion from left to right. Drops back, zips it downfield, caught by you-know-who, and it's going to be fielded at the 40. They'll go no huddle here. Hacker will cross the field again.
Gotta hustle.
15 and ticking. Dunhill will spike it.
Yeah, not leaving a lot of room for error left. They basically have to throw it to the end zone here, get the extra point, and then hope that the onside kick basically falls into their hands for a return touchdown almost, it feels like.
Caught downfield, Kate Stevens will eclipse 100 receiving yards on the night. Dunhill trying to get up to the line to spike it again. He will spike it. They'll have one more play.
They'll get one more play, but the hope to get another possession is clearly failed on this one. So let's see if they can make this game close, make it a 3-point game.
Dunhill with a single back behind him. 4 wide, 2 on either side. Baltimore play their corners up close. Clock expires. Short throw. Caught. Trying to get free was, believe, E.J. Minson. And that will do us. Game, set, bingo. Baltimore secures a home playoff game next week in the wildcard round. At 7-5, Fort Worth's winning streak ends tonight. They will fall to 8-4, but won't move out of the 5 seed. Brett Solberg, lots to unpack from that game.
Yeah, and Baltimore just showed out in that first half and really made Fort Worth try to claw back. And I've been saying this since I started broadcasting. The toughest challenge for a football team is to play from behind, and that's what Baltimore did to Fort Worth. 17-0. In the first half, and Fort Worth had to claw back their way just to get things within 7, and it just wasn't enough. Marcus Dunhill with a very unorthodox performance for him. Completion percentage under 50% and 4 interceptions. And Baltimore, all they need to do is just stay the path in the second half, and it's exactly what they did to get the win. Now they see themselves with a home playoff game home is much better than playing on the road in the playoffs with all that pressure going against you. So Baltimore's got to breathe easy because they got themselves a chance once again for playoff supremacy.
Once again, thank you, Brett Solberg, for your brilliant analysis. As always, tonight Baltimore gets a first-round home playoff game. Don't go anywhere. Tomorrow night, it will be an absolute show on SFL YouTube. 2 games to decide the entirety of a division. And then again, we'll be back on Monday night. We'll see you then, and, well, have a good night.
Yeah. Bidu!